It's the game of the week. Today we are at Comiskey Park in Chicago as the Chicago White Sox take on the Boston Red Sox. Chicago White Sox, who have done an amazing turnaround this year. They finished last season in last place. And now Chuck Tanner, in his first full season as manager, he took over, I believe, around September 20th of last season. Has a team in an excellent turnaround. Since the All Star break, the team has gone 14-4. They're the hottest team in baseball right now. And in the same amount of period of time, the first place Oakland A's have gone, let's see, 7-7. So that leaves the White Sox right now at 5.5 games behind Oakland. Earlier this week, Oakland went to Baltimore, who has also been struggling a bit. And Baltimore swept that 3 game series from Oakland. Oakland won last night against Cleveland, and they're playing the Indians today. And also, coincidentally or not, in the National League this week, there was a series that might be a preview of the postseason when the Pittsburgh Pirates went to LA for a 3 game series. And the Dodgers swept them in 3 games. So is it that a premonition for a Baltimore Los Angeles World Series? I guess we'll see in October. This is the Today's game is the last day in July, July 31st. 2 days ago on Thursday, Willie Mays of the Giants got his 3,000th hit. Earlier this season, he also had hit his 600th home run. And in Cleveland, the news is out that Alvin Dark has been fired as the manager and general manager, and that Sam McDowell has left the team. Right now in the American League West, as I said, the White Sox are 5.5 games back. They are the only second place team that is within single digits of the first place team. The other 3 races all look like runaways, but with 2 months left to go in the season, each of them may be like a losing streak away from turning their race into a pennant race. We're going to take a timeout and come back with the starting lineups. Okay, we're at Comiskey Park where the White Sox will take on the Boston Red Sox. Jim Lonborg starts for Boston. He's made 16 starts. He is 5-8 with an ERA of 5.15. This is his second start against Chicago. He's 1-0 with an ERA of 1.35 against the White Sox. Wilbur Wood will be on the mound for Chicago. He's made 24 starts, and he is 16-6 with an ERA of 1.80. Chuck Tanner has been repeatedly using Wilbur Wood on 2 days rest this year. This is Wood's third start against Boston. He's 2-0 with a 1.26 ERA against the Red Sox. It's 82 degrees. And we have wind speeds of 2 miles an hour in from right field. So it doesn't look like wind may be a factor today. All right, in the starting lineup for the Red Sox, leading off the shortstop, Luis Aparicio. Batting second, the second baseman, John Kennedy. Batting third, the right fielder, Reggie Smith. Batting fourth, the left fielder, Joe LaHood. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Rico Petrocelli. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Billy Conigliaro. Batting seventh, the first baseman, George Scott. Batting eighth, the catcher, Dwayne Josephson. And batting ninth, the pitcher, Jim Lonborg. On defense, the White Sox will have Carlos May at first. Former member of the Red Sox, Mike Andrews at second. Louis Alvarado at shortstop. Bill Melton at third. Rick Reichard in left. Jay Johnstone in center. Pat Kelly in right. Ed Herman catching, and on the mound, Wilbur Wood. Wilbur Wood is a knuckleball pitcher. And he's actually got pretty good control. 205 and a third innings. He's given up 159 hits. 10 of those were home runs. He's walked 41. He has struck out 122. He said his goal this year is to pitch both ends of a doubleheader and pitch a complete game in each of those games. He has a 3-game winning streak. And he has been used fairly consistently this year on 2 days rest. His last start was July 27th against the Yankees. White Sox won that game 10-9, but Wood came away without a decision. Leading off is Luis Aparicio. He is hitting .206, 2 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Aparicio was the Rookie of the Year back in 1956. And he played with the White Sox from 1956 to 1962. And then again from 1968 to 1970. Boston has won just 2 of their last 10. They are 41 and 62. They're in 5th place in the American League East. Here's the first pitch. That caught the inside corner, strike one. Liner down the third base line, that's foul. It's a grounder to short. Alvarado's up with the throw to first. is John Kennedy. He's hitting 250, one home run, 8 runs batted in. The 0-1 pitch. He hits a grounder to third. Melton's up with it. Throws to first. 2 outs. Here is Reggie Smith, the right fielder. He's hitting 262 with 16 home runs, 68 runs batted in. The 2-2 pitch. Another knuckler, grounder to third. Melton's up with it. Throws him out. 3 outs. Nothing across for Boston in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It is the Red Sox. Nothing. The White Sox coming to bat. White Sox starting lineup will be leading off the first baseman, Carlos May. Batting second, the right fielder, Pat Kelly. Batting third, the second baseman, Mike Andrews. Batting fourth, the third baseman, Bill Melton. Batting fifth, the left fielder, Rick Reichert. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Jay Johnstone. Batting seventh, the catcher, Ed Herman. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Luis Alvarado. Batting ninth, the pitcher, Wilbur Wood. On defense, the Red Sox have George Scott at first base, John Kennedy at second, Louis Aparicio at short, Rico Petrocelli at third, Joe LaHood in left. They're giving Carl Yastrzemski a day off. Billy Canigliaro in center, Reggie Smith in right field, Dwayne Josephson catching, and on the mound, Jim Lonborg. Jim Lonborg's fastball pitcher. He hasn't been the same since he injured his leg in a skiing accident after the 1967 season. In fact, he started this season in Pawtucket and was called up to the Red Sox on May 18th. His record of 5-8 in the area, 5.15. He has walked 53, struck out 56. Carlos May leads off. He's hitting .331, 7 home runs, 40 runs batted in. The 3-0 pitch. Inside, ball 4. Here's the right fielder, Pat Kelly. He's hitting .279, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. He is the brother of Leroy Kelly of the Cleveland Browns. And here's the pitch. May is off with the pitch. Kelly hits ground ball in the right field, base hit. May rounds second. He'll take third on the hit and run. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. And here is Mike Andrews. He's hitting .262 with 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in. Curveball, ball 1. It's base hit in the center field. May scores. Kelly rounds second. He's heading for third. Canigliaro's throw. He is safe. Runners at the corners. Nobody out. Chicago leads 1-0, and here is Bill Melton. Melton's hitting .303 with 21 home runs, 69 runs batted in. He's hitting .333 in July. Too low, ball 1. Hits a fly ball in the left field. Lahoud going back. Lahoud is on the track. He's got it. Kelly tags and he will score. It's 2-0 Chicago. Here is Rick Reichert. He's hitting .281 with 15 home runs, 60 runs batted in. Came over in a trade with the Washington Senators. And he is having a good year. He's having his best year since 1966. That was year he was having an excellent season, an excellent rookie season, and then he had to have emergency surgery to remove a cancerous kidney, and he just has not been the same player since then. That's in there at the knees, strike one. Reichert hits fly ball in the left field. Lahoud going back at the wall. That is gone. That's home run number 16 for Rick Reichert. And Chicago jumps out to a 4-0 lead. Here's the catcher, the center fielder, Jay Johnstone. He's hitting .263, 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in. The 2-0 pitch. It's a grounder to third. Petrocelli's up with it. Throw to first. Bang, bang, play. He's out. You might notice in this less than satisfactory stadium photo that I have that Comiskey Park has artificial turf in the area between the foul lines and the cut of the infield dirt. And the area from the bases to the backstop and foul ground is also artificial turf. Here is the catcher, Ed Herman. He's hitting .210, 15 home runs and 47 runs batted in. Hitting .185 in July. The 0-2 pitch. Strike three called. But the White Sox get 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors, no one left. We played an inning in Chicago. It is Chicago 4, Boston nothing. Joe Lahoud leads off for Boston. He's hitting .253, 17 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lahoud hits a base hit into right field. Here is Rico Petrocelli. He's hitting .262 with 29 home runs and 73 runs batted in. Petrocelli is tied with Greg Nettles of the Indians for the league lead in home runs. Here's a knuckler, swing and a miss, strike one. Low and outside, ball one. It's a sharp grounder to short, could be 2. To second for 1, the first, double play. 6-4-3 double play. 2 outs. Here is Billy Canigliaro. He's hitting .262, 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Billy Canigliaro initiated a controversy in Boston in the past couple weeks. His brother, the popular Tony Canigliaro, was traded to the Angels during the offseason. And Tony Canigliaro never felt welcomed by his Angels teammates. And he abruptly retired, saying that he couldn't see the ball anymore, going back to the serious beating that he had in 1967. Billy Canigliaro chimed in Boston, accusing Carl Yastrzemski and Reggie Smith of the Red Sox of demanding that his brother Tony be traded from the Red Sox, and that they're calling the shots among player movement with manager Eddie Casco and general manager Dick O'Connell and owner Tom Yawkey. Yastrzemski and Smith both vehemently denied this. In fact, Yastrzemski made a statement about it in the real life 1971 All-Star game. And just from my reading of this, it doesn't sound like either Tony Canigliaro or Billy Canigliaro have many friends among the fraternity of Major League players. In Peter Gollenbach's book about the Red Sox, Joe LaHood, who was a confidant of Carl Yastrzemski, said some particularly nasty things about Billy Canigliaro. And the 1-0 pitch, it's a knuckleball. Bouncer to second. Andrews has it to throw to first. 3 outs. That was another one. That was helped by the turf. Just like that sharp double play ball that Petrocelli hit. Boston comes up with no runs. 1 hit, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the second. Chicago 4, Boston nothing. Luis Alvarado leads off for Chicago. He's hitting .201. No home runs, 14 runs batted in. Alvarado had been bouncing between let's see, I believe he was bouncing between third base and shortstop while he played for Boston. He came over from Boston during the off season, and Chuck Tanner decided to make him strictly a shortstop. And while Alvarado isn't having a particularly successful season with the bat, he is having a better season in the field, and he feels more comfortable out there. And spoiler alert, Luis Alvarado, future member of the Cleveland Indians. Here's the first pitch, a changeup. Grounder up the middle. Aparicio to his left has it, and he throws him out. 1 out. Here's Wilbur Wood. He's hitting .152. No home runs, 2 runs batted in. He is 10 for 66. He has 1 double. Hitting .140 against right-handers. The 0-1 pitch. He hits a grounder to second. Kennedy has it. Throws to first. 2 outs. Here is Carlos May. He walked in the first inning. Carlos May, he was a member of the American League All-Star team that totally blasted the National League team this year. Carlos May made a great comeback last season. He returned after losing a piece of his thumb in an artillery accident while on military duty. Sitting 319 against right-handers. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. He walks. That's his second walk today. Here's Pat Kelly. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the first. Spoiler alert, he is a future member of the Cleveland Indians. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Low, ball 1. Just above the letters, ball 2. That caught the inside corner, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Curveball too high, full count. Full count, 2 outs. Oh. Oh, excuse me, I had having a little bit of issue with some hiccups. Here we go. The payoff pitch. It's fly ball in right field. Reggie Smith moving over, and it's out of play. Yeah, with this park image, with the foul lines, can't see the foul lines all the way to the end, so it trips me up sometimes. Kelly, it's a base hit in the right center. He rounds first. Slides into second with a double. That's his first double of the year. Carlos May's on third, so we have runners on second and third, 2 outs. Here's Mike Andrews. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the first, and that scored Carlos May with the first run of the game. Too high, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. Too low, ball 2. Up around the letters, ball 3, full count. It's a grounder to third. Petrocelli's up with it. He has to make a quick throw. Bang, bang, play, and Andrews is out. The White Sox get no runs. 1 hit, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We played 2 at Comiskey Park. It is Chicago 4, Boston nothing. It'll be George Scott, Dwayne Josephson, and Jim Lonborg for Boston in third. George Scott is hitting .253, 18 home runs, 55 runs batted in. He's hitting .275 in July. The 0-1 pitch, liner down the right field line, that's foul. It's a fly ball in a left field. Rick Reichard back at the track, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Here is Dwayne Josephson. He's hitting .227, 10 home runs, 41 runs batted in. He's a former member of the White Sox. He came over in an off-season deal. Let me look that up and see what that deal was. He was traded to the White Sox with Danny Murphy for Tony Muser and Vicente Romo. Romo is part of the White Sox bullpen, and Tony Muser is in the minor leagues right now. And Danny Murphy is also in the minor leagues right now. Joseph hitting 200 against lefties. Hits a grounder to second. Andrews up with it. Throw to first, 2 outs. Here is Jim Lonborg. He's hitting 242 with no home runs, no runs batted in. He has 8 hits on the year. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Wilbur Wood. Nothing across for Boston in the third. Bottom of the third, it is the White Sox 4. Red Sox nothing. Bill Melton leads off for the White Sox. He had a sacrifice fly in the first inning. That scored Pat Kelly and made it 2-0. Spoiler alert, although I don't remember this, Bill Melton, future member of the Cleveland Indians. I don't think he was with the Indians very long, because frankly I have no memory of him playing with Cleveland. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a grounder right back to the box. Lombard throws him out. 1 out. Here's Rick Reichard. He's 1 for 1. He hit a 2-run homer in the first inning. 1-1 pitch. It's fly ball in the center field. Canigliaro drifting back, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Jay Johnstone. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to third in the first inning. It's grounded to short. Aparicio's up with it. Throws the first. 3 outs. Nothing across in the bottom of the third. We played 3 in Chicago. It's White Sox 4. Red Sox nothing. Take a look around the league. In the top of the 6th at Shea Stadium, Cubs lead the Mets 7-1. Duffy Dyer hit his first home run of the year for the Mets. That's Milt Pappas against Tug McGraw. Bottom of the 6th at Tiger Stadium. Angels and Tigers tied at 1. That is Clyde Wright against Tom Timmerman. Clyde Wright's been talking about becoming a pro golfer after his pitching career is over. And he just took up golf, I think 2 years ago. And said he had never played the game before, and his first time out, he shot, I think, like 75 or 80 on 18 holes. So he's been golfing ever since then. Top of the third in Milwaukee, the Senators lead the Brewers 3-0. Toby Harrah hit his third home run of the year. Top of the third in Minnesota, that the Yankees lead the Twins 1-0. That's Mel Stottlemyre against Jim Cott. And bottom of the 6th in Cleveland, the Indians just taking the lead from Oakland 5-4. Ray Fosse hit his 7th home run of the year for Cleveland. That is Chuck Dobson against Alan Foster. Now in the 4th inning for the Red Sox, it will be the top of the order. Louis Aparicio, John Kennedy, and Reggie Smith. Luis Aparicio, he is 0 for 1 today. He grounded to his opposite number, the shortstop Louis Alvarado, in the 1st inning. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Alvarado to his left. Has it. Throws him out. 1 out. Yeah, they do get some true bounces with this artificial turf. Here is John Kennedy. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to third in the first inning. The 1-1 pitch. It's another grounder to third. Melton has it. Throws him out. 2 outs. And here's Reggie Smith. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to third in the first inning. The 2-2 pitch. Knuckleball. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That is strikeout number 2 for Wilbur Wood. Nothing across for the Red Sox in the fourth. Wilbur Wood, he is looking for his 17th win. Right now, Bert Blyleven has 16 wins. Wilbur Wood has 16 wins. Don Sutton of the Dodgers has 16 wins. And Vita Blue of Oakland got his 16th win last night. Ed Herman leads off for Chicago in the fourth. He's 0 for 1. He struck out back in the first. The 2-2 pitch. Hits a fly ball into center field. Canigliero's back, and he's got it. 1 out. Here is Luis Alvarado. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to the shortstop in the second inning. Just like Aparicio, the 2 Luises have grounded out to their opposite number in their first at-bats. It's a grounder to third. Petrocelli's up with it. Throw to first. 2 outs. Here's Wilbur Wood. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second. Last time up. Ball 4. Lonborg's out there kicking himself, walking the opposing pitcher. Here's Carlos May. He walked in the first and walked in the second. Hitting .319 against right-handers. Outside, ball 1. Down and in, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The 2-1 pitch. There goes Wood. Throw to second. He is safe. That's his first steal of the year. And that pitch was called a strike, so 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. Ball 3, May works it full. Ball 4, that's the third walk of the game for Carlos May. Here's Pat Kelly, he's 2 for 2. He singled in the first and doubled in the second. Ball 1. He bounced that one. Ball 2. Too high. Ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Curveball. He looked at strike 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Full count. 2 outs. Fouls it back. Count remains full. Full count. 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Kelly hits one up the middle. Kennedy to his right. Has it. Throw to first. 3 outs. The White Sox get no runs. No hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the 5th inning. Chicago leads Boston 4-0. Joe LaHood leads off for Boston. He's 1 for 1. He singled in the second. Sitting .294 in July. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a knuckleball. Strike 3. Rico Petrocelli, he's 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play in the second inning. He's hitting .212 in July. 1-2 pitch, grounder to third. Melton up with it. Throw to first, 2 outs. And here is Billy Canigliaro. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second. Last time up, the 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 4 for Wilbur Wood. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's an official game here at Comiskey Park. White Sox 4, Red Sox nothing. Mike Andrews leads off for Chicago. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the first, and that scored Carlos May. The 2-0 pitch. It's a grounder to second. Kennedy's up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Bill Melton. He's 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the first and grounded to the pitcher in the third. Full count. Ball 4. That's the 5th walk given up by Jim Lomborg. Lomborg has thrown 83 pitches so far, 43 for strikes, 40 for balls. Compare that with Wilbur Wood, who's thrown 58 pitches, 44 of those for strikes. Here is Rick Reichard. He is 1 for 2. He hit a 2-run homer in the first. That was right down the middle. Strike 1. Ball 1. It's a liner to third, right at Petrocelli. 2 outs. Here's Jay Johnstone. He's 0 for 2. He grounded to third in the first and grounded to short in the third. Too high, ball 1. Fouls it back, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Johnstone hits base hit in the right field. Smith throws it back in. Melton was off with the pitch, and he takes third easily. So we have runners at the corners, 2 outs. Here's Ed Herman, who is 0 for 2. He struck out the first, flied out to center in the 4th. It's fly ball in the center field. Canigliaro going back. He's at the track, and he has it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We played 5 in Chicago. It is the White Sox 4, the Red Sox nothing. I was able to go to a game at Comiskey Park. The last year, it was operating. I had decided to take a quick trip to Chicago to taking some games at Wrigley Field. And the day I left my house in Cleveland, I noticed that the Brewers were in town, so I detoured from Chicago to Milwaukee, took in a game at County Stadium. And then while I was at my hotel in Milwaukee, I saw in the paper that the next day the Cubs were playing a night game at Wrigley, a game that I had planned on attending. And then I saw that the White Sox would also be in town that day, making up a rainout or something. And they were playing like a early game against Seattle for like noon or something, earlier than normal starting time. So I thought, why not? And drove down to Chicago, attended a day game at Comiskey Park, and then drove from the south side to the north side of Chicago, parked in the DeVry parking lot, and took the shuttle to Wrigley Field. So in a couple days, I saw the Brewers play the Orioles, the White Sox play the Mariners, and the Cubs play the Phillies. And in each of those games, the home team lost. And I know, like, Wrigley Field has a reputation of being an old-time classic ballpark. But going into Comiskey Park felt like walking into a time machine. I mean, those horns that are visible in this picture by the bleachers are still there. I mean, I was there, I think it was at 1990. And except for the electronic scoreboard, it felt like I could have been there in 1940. Took a walk around and watched an inning from the picnic plaza by the left field wall under the left field stands, and that was actually a very good view. So yeah, I got to say that I saw a game at Comiskey Park. I'd always been scared off about going there, with it being on Chicago's south side. But I saw an article about Comiskey Park in the late 80s in Sports Illustrated that said that statistically, Comiskey Park was actually one of the safer ballparks to go to, even at night, because it's like right by the freeway. Unlike, say, like Wrigley Field, where you have to drive through the city to get to. All right, enough of my boring trip down memory lane. Top of the sixth for the Red Sox. George Scott leads off. He's 0 for 1. He flied out in the third inning. The 1-2 pitch. Pops it up. Third base side, foul ground. Melton has it. 1 out. Here's Dwayne Josephson. He is 0 for 1. He grounded to the second baseman back in the third inning. The 3-1 pitch. It's a liner to second. Alvarado leaps, and he has it. Nice play by Luis Alvarado. 2 outs. Here is Jim Lonborg. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the third. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Strikeout number 5 for Wilbur Wood. Nothing across for Chicago in the sixth. We go to the bottom of the sixth. It is Chicago 4, Boston nothing. Chicago has 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 6 men on base. Boston has no runs, 1 hit, no errors. They haven't left anybody on base. Chicago scored 4 in the first. Lee Carlos May led off with a walk. Let me look. Let's see here. Carlos May is related to Lee May. Yeah, Lee May is Carlos May's older brother. And they are from Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama, not one of my favorite cities to drive in. I thought he was related to Lee May. All right, he led off the game with a walk. Pat Kelly singled. Lee May went to third. Mike Andrews singled. That scored Lee May. Kelly took third. Chicago was leading 1-0. Then Bill Melton hit a sacrifice fly to left field. That scored Pat Kelly. Chicago 2, Boston 0. And then Rick Reichard hit a 2-run homer. And that increased Chicago's lead to 4-0, and that's where we're at right now. Luis Alvarado leads off for the White Sox. He's 0 for 2. He grounded to the shortstop in the second, grounded to third in the fourth. The 2-1 pitch. Alvarado hits a base hit in the right field. Reggie Smith throws it back in. Here is Wilbur Wood. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second in the second, and he walked in the fourth. Wilbur Wood's a good bunter. He lays one down. Josephson jumps on it. Throws to Kennedy covering first. 1 out. Alvarado takes second on the sacrifice. Here is Carlos May. He walked in the first, walked in the second, and walked in the fourth. Fastball, ball 1. He looks at strike 1. Jim Lonborg has 5 walks today, and 3 of those have come against Carlos May. Fouls one, third base side, and that'll make the seats. Strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. May hits a base hit in the right field. Alvarado rounds third, and he will hold. He did not want to challenge Reggie Smith's arm. Runners at the corner, 1 out. Here's Pat Kelly, who's 2 for 3. He singled in the first, doubled in the second, and he grounded to second in the fourth. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 1. Swing and a miss on another breaking ball, strike 2. Strike 3 called. Second strikeout of the game for Jim Lonborg. 2 outs, runners at the corners. Here is Mike Andrews, who's 1 for 3. He singled in the first, and that drove in a run. In the dirt, ball 1. Liner down at third base line, that's foul. Strike 2 call. That was kind of late on that call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hits a bouncer up the middle. Aparicio to his left has it. Throws him out. 3 outs. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left. We played 6 at Comiskey Park. It is Chicago 4, Boston nothing. Top of the order for the Red Sox will be Aparicio, Kennedy, and Smith. Louis Aparicio is 0 for 2. He grounded his opposite number, Louis Alvarado, in the first inning and the 4th inning. The 0-1 pitch. Liner down the third base line. That's foul. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Wilbur Wood. 1 out. Here's John Kennedy. He's 0 for 2. Grounded to third in the first. Grounded to third in the 4th. The 1-1 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Alvarado has it. Throws him out. 2 outs. And here's Reggie Smith. He is 0 for 2. Grounded to third in the first, and he struck out in the 4th. Inning 206 in June. The 2-1 pitch. Pops it up on the infield. Mike Andrews takes charge. 3 outs. Nothing across for Boston. In the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Chicago 4, Boston nothing. In other circumstances, this might be a very tense game. Let's take a look around the league again. Top of the 9th. Ed Shea. Cubs lead the Mets 8-5. Tommy Agee hit his 9th home run for the Mets. That is Milt Pappas looking for his 11th win against Ray Sadecki. Final at Tiger Stadium. The Angels beat the Tigers 5-1. Willie Horton went 3 for 4. Clyde Wright got his 10th win, and Dennehy got the loss. It's been a very soul-crushing season in California. First with the Alex Johnson controversy, now with the Tony Conigliaro controversy. It just seems like a season of malaise now in Anaheim. California's in 3rd place, but they're under 500. They're, with this win, they're now 51 and 54. Bottom of the 7th in Minnesota, the Twins lead the Yankees 3-2. And a final in Cleveland. Indians beat the A's 6-5. That's good news for Chicago. Mike Epstein hit his 14th home run. He had a grand slam last night. Alan Foster got the win. He's 5-11, and Chuck Dobson takes a loss. He's 5-9. Indians and the A's have a doubleheader tomorrow. Bill Melton leads off for Chicago in the bottom of the 7th. He's 0 for 1. Hit a sacrifice fly in the first, grounded out in the 3rd, and walked in the 5th. The 1-1 pitch. Pops it up third base side. That is foul. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Jim Lonborg. Here is Rick Reichert. He's 1 for 3. He hit a 2-run home run in the first. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Walk number 6 today for Jim Lombard. Here's Jay Johnstone. He's 1 for 3. He singled last time up in the 5th inning. Ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. That was way out of the strike zone. Too high, ball 2. Fouls it back. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. It's fly ball in the right field. Smith going back. He's at the warning track, and he's got it. Two outs as Reichard holds it first. Here comes Eddie Casco making a pitching change. Ken Brett coming in to pitch. Ken Brett's making his 22nd appearance of the year. He has a record of 1-2 with 1 save, an ERA of 6.25. He has walked 24, struck out 29. Ken Brett, he is a fastball pitcher. He throws extremely hard. Tends to keep the ball up. Giving up 29 hits this year. 5 of those have been home runs. Here's Ed Herman. He's 0 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. Curveball inside, ball 1. Strike 3 called. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left. We played 7 at Comiskey Park. It's Chicago 4, Boston nothing. For the Red Sox in the 8th, it will be LaHood, Petrocelli, and Canigliaro. LaHood is 1 for 2. He singled in the 2nd. He has the only hit today so far for the Red Sox. He has been their only base runner. The 2-2 pitch. Another knuckler. He hits a fly ball in the center field or right field. Kelly's running in. He has it. 1 out. Here is Rico Petrocelli. He's 0 for 2. Second inning, he grounded into a double play. And that took out Boston's only base runner in the game so far. The 1-2 pitch. It's fly ball in the left field. Rick Reichard is there, and he's got it. 2 outs. Here's Billy Canigliaro. He's 0 for 2 today. It's a grounder to second. Andrews up with a throw to first. 3 outs. Nothing across for Boston in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, White Sox lead 4-0. Luis Alvarado leads off. He's 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th inning. The 3-1 pitch. Low and away, ball 4. Here's Wilbur Wood. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to second in the 2nd. Walked in the 4th and hit a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. He squares the bunt. Down the third base line, Petrocelli coming in, has it. Throws to Kennedy for the out. 1 out. Alvarado takes second on the sacrifice. Here's Carlos May. He is 1 for 1. He has 3 walks, and he singled in the 6th. Hitting 281 with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss, strike one. It's a grounder to third. Petrocelli looks to runner back. Throws to first. Bang, bang, play. He's out. 2 outs. Here is Pat Kelly. He's 2 for 4. Singled in the first and doubled in the second. Caught the inside corner, strike one. Fouls it back, strike two. Ball one. In too close, ball two. Kelly hits base hit in the left field. Lahud up with it. Alvarado rounds third. He'll score. That makes it 5-0 Chicago. It's his third hit of the game. Here is Mike Andrews, who's 1 for 4. He singled in the first. And that scored Carlos May. The first run of the game. High and away, ball one. Too low, ball two. He tipped that one, strike one. Inside, ball three. Swing and a miss, strike two. Full count, 2 outs. Ball four. Here's Bill Melton. He's 0 for 2 today. He had a sacrifice fly in the first, and he walked in the fifth. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike one. It's fly ball in the center field. Canigliaro drifting over. He's got it. 3 outs. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. 2 men left. We go to the 9th inning. It is Chicago 5, Boston 1. It'll be the bottom of the order for Boston in the 9th. George Scott leads off. He's 0 for 2. The 0-1 pitch. It's a grounder to third. Melton's up with it. Throw to first. 1 out. Here's Dwayne Josephson. He is 0 for 2. Hitting 185 in July. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder to second. Andrews has it. The throw to first. 2 outs. Red Sox are down to their last out. And Phil Gagliano will pinch hit. Gagliano is hitting .354, no home runs, 7 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's hitting .386 with 5 RBIs. This is Gagliano's first year in the American League. Spent the bulk of his career with the Cardinals and then was traded from the Cardinals to the Cubs during the 1970 season. The 2-1 pitch. Liner down the first base line. That's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base hit in the left field. That's the first hit given up by Wood since the second inning. Gagliano, he is only the second base runner of the game for the Red Sox. Here is Luis Aparicio. He's 0 for 3 today. Check the swing. Ball 1. Caught the outside corner. Strike 1. Says earlier today that may not have been a strike. Another base hit up the middle. Gagliano around second. He'll take third. Here is John Kennedy. He's 0 for 3. It's a grounder to first. May bobbles it. Kennedy's safe. And Gagliano scores. There goes the shutout. It's 5-1, Chicago. Here is Reggie Smith. He is 0 for 3. Low and outside, ball 1. Swing and a miss on a knuckleball, strike 1. Grounder up the middle. Andrews to his right has it. Throws him out, nets the game. White Sox win 5-1. White Sox had 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 11 men on base. Boston had 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. Wilbur Wood gets the win. He is 17-6. And Jim Lonborg takes the loss. He is 5-9. Star of the game will obviously be Wilbur Wood. Through 8 innings, he faced a minimum of 24 batters. And he weakened a little bit in the 9th, giving up 2 hits. And the Red Sox scored their only run on an error. So Wood gave up 1 run, but it was unearned. He looked really good today. 9 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits. 1 of those was in the 2nd, 2 in the 9th. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 6. He had that knuckleball dancing for sure. He threw 109 pitches and 78 of those were strikes. Lonborg pitched 6 2/3 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. Gave up 1 home run. Each of the runs he gave up were in the 1st inning. He walked 6. He struck out 3. He was having some difficulty with his control, especially in the earlier innings. Pat Kelly went 3 for 5 with a double. Rick Reichert 1 for 3. He had a 2-run homer. Carlos May went 1 for 2 with 3 walks. Time of this game was 2 hours and 37 minutes. With Oakland losing today in Cleveland, that decreases their lead over Chicago to 4.5 games. Oakland has a doubleheader against the Indians tomorrow. And let's see what what's up for Boston and Chicago. And Boston and Chicago have a doubleheader here at Comiskey Park tomorrow. First first game tomorrow will probably be Gary Peters for Boston and Tom Bradley for Chicago. Tom Bradley looking for his 14th win. So Chicago, are they making a legitimate move on Oakland right now at the end of July? It looks like they are. Let me see if they have any head-to-head games left. I'm sure they do. Yeah, they have a 4-game series against Oakland, August 6th to August 8th. That's in Oakland. And then Oakland comes to Comiskey Park for a doubleheader on September 15th. And then they go to Oakland for 3 games, September 21st and 22nd. As a fan in Cleveland, if I was watching that race, I would be pulling for the White Sox. If Cleveland can't make it, the teams I would tend to pull for would be Detroit or Chicago. And so, once again, our final score on the game of the week today: Chicago White Sox 5, Boston Red Sox 1. I thought it was a good game. I especially enjoyed watching Wilbur Woods' exceptional pitching performance. He joins Burt Blyleven right now with the American League lead with 17 wins. Yeah, let me check one more thing here. And in the National League, Don Sutton leads with wins with 16. So I hope you enjoyed this game. As a podcaster reminded me to remind people, like and subscribe my channel. And thank you for watching.